What's going on, y'all? Today we're doing a video about land investing. You guessed it. Obviously, this is what I do. We're gonna go a little bit higher view of what land investing is today. We're gonna talk a little bit more about what land investing is, what land investing isn't, and basically what do I do? How do I do land investing? And what is this whole thing? How do I make a living doing land investing? So when people ask me what I do and I tell them I'm a land investor, I feel like there's this look on their face of like, that doesn't make sense. Like, people understand real estate investing. If I say, oh, I'm a real estate investor, that's usually like an easier way to talk about things. But land investing specifically is something that people aren't super familiar with. So I wanted to talk really about what is land investing, how do you get involved with it, how does the whole business itself work, more of like kind of a 100,000 foot view and a 10,000 foot view of this business. So basically what I do is I buy land all around the country at generally under market value, fix it up somehow, put septics, bring utilities on, clear land, put in driveways, all the things that need to happen with land to make them more buildable. And then I put them back on the market and sell them for retail. So it's not very different than like what people do for flipping homes, right? They'll buy something that's neglected, a home that's been neglected. They'll put in a kitchen, they'll put in a bath, maybe paint and carpet and all that fun stuff, and then put it back up on the market. It's very similar. So land flipping and house flipping are very similar in that aspect. So that's kind of the 100,000 foot view of what land flipping is. Now, I guess the real question is, that sounds great. That sounds awesome, Derek. How do you do it? Like, specifically, how do you do it? And this will be a little bit more of the 10,000 foot view. So we're going to bring it down a little bit closer. So 10,000 foot view of what land investing is basically, we do research on counties around the country. So there's, obviously hundreds, thousands maybe of counties in this country. And we will go through and we will do market research on these counties. So we use the we use the software called Land Portal, and we get all kinds of metrics. So we're looking at price per acre, population density, days on market, absorption rate, sell-through rate, sales density. All these different metrics go into what makes a good county. And really what we're looking for is demand. We're looking for movement in the market where people are selling. We're looking for movement where people are buying. And then we would go market to that county. So we would send some sort of marketing, whether that's mail or text message or cold calling. We also find things that are on the market. A lot of times that's a really easy way to get into land investing, is finding something that's actually currently listed, that is listed either under market value or something that possibly we can subdivide. We can buy at market value, subdivide off into smaller acres and sell them for more per acre. So we would send marketing, and then we get calls from people. And this is a lot like, helping people out with problems. So land is something that gets passed down through families a lot of times. Land is something that can become burdensome for a lot of people, whether they're not using it the way that they initially thought they were going to be using it, or whether it was passed down to somebody and maybe it's land that they've never seen. We get this a lot, that, hey, my uncle left me this land 20 years ago and I've been paying property taxes on it, or I'm behind on my property taxes on it, or I just would no longer like to pay to have this land, to keep it up, to keep the upkeep on land, getting it mowed, because there's going to be a lot of times some regulations inside the county that you have to like upkeep your land, right? They don't want the land growing onto the roads and stuff like that. So it becomes burdensome. And so we send marketing out saying, hey, like if you're not using your land, or you have a problem with your land or anything like that, we'd love to help you out here and give you some cash for your land. So what we do is we make them a cash offer, and we purchase that land from them, and then go in, once again, fixing it up, right? We'll get things, septic approval, do soil tests, we'll get surveys done, we'll land clear, we'll put in driveways, a lot of stuff that looks like that. So we fix it up, and then we put it back on the market for retail. There's creative financing options in there as well. Obviously, you can go watch my video, I'll post it up here, about, or down there, about getting things financed and how we finance properties. And then we put it back up on the market, sell it for a profit, take the profit, and continue to do that. Rinse, repeat, send marketing, get deals, and all that stuff. Look at this little one. Can I finish recording my video?
I just want to say good morning.
Okay, good morning, I love you.
Love you.
Summer break, kids are home, what are you gonna do? And so that's kind of the little bit more of the 10,000 foot view of land investing in general, as far as how this whole thing works. Here's the nice part. There's not a lot of work to do with land investing. I can do this business from anywhere. I've bought land, completely mobile, out of state, on vacation. It's not something that you need to actually ever go see the land. We use a lot of drone photography to get eyes on the property. Obviously, I don't need to be there when they're doing a soil test. It's very remote. You can do this business from anywhere, and that's really one of the major benefits. Obviously, you see that I have a family, and so it's nice to be able to work from home. This is my office. This is where I do all my work, but I could also grab this computer and go anywhere to do this business. So, and ideally what you're doing, we're usually averaging around $20,000 to $30,000 per deal. And so if you can do 1 or 2 deals a month, that's a really good income for your business. And obviously you can take money out of that for your paychecks and all that stuff. So that's really kind of the beauty of land investing. Obviously, I coach people how to do this. I learned from a company called Land Investing Online, who are amazing. And so if this is something you're looking to get into, I'll post a link down below. You can also go watch the Apke Brothers podcast. There's a ton of information out there on YouTube. I'll post maybe some videos that I've done with them as well. Or if you're interested in coaching, if you're interested in getting into this land business, I'll post my 15-minute link to have a call. We can jump on a call, see if this is something that's a good fit for you. And if you want to get into land investing, that is a great way to do it. Obviously, do some research. There's lots of people who do land investing out there, but I will post some stuff about the Apke Brothers and Land Investing Online specifically, because I love them. They're amazing, and that's how they changed my life. And so I really like the way they do it. It's very, there's lots of integrity in this business, and a lot of people, I think, don't work with a lot of integrity when it comes to buying land from people. So yeah, check them out. Let me know if you're interested. Also post the land portal link. If you're a real estate investor, if you're a real estate agent, anything, if you're in the real estate space and you're not using land portal, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, this is something that you really should be looking at. You can find, there's ways to filter for homes. You can pull data lists. You can do mailers. You can get county data. There's all kinds of information in the land portal. So if you're not using it, 7-day free trial, link below, all the fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, comment, all the fun stuff. If you've got a friend that you think this might work for, send them the video. I'd love to chat and get to know y'all. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.